Okay, go.
Hey, Romeo Robichaud, and I'm the owner president of RBSbattens.
My name is Scott Walsh, and I help out with sales and marketing.
Okay. Tell us a little bit about the history of RBS.
RBS started in San Diego in about 1985. We were doing mainly windsurfing battens at the time and a little bit of one design battens, mainly for Vince Brune and Mark Reynolds for the Stars. And it developed, it grew from windsurfing into yachting, only because the windsurfing market kind of faded away. And so we just jumped from that one, from windsurfing into yachting. And we had a lot of contacts in the yachting industry due to a lot of the yachting people were also windsurfers. So they knew who we were and they knew our product. So it was an easy transition. And ever since, I'd say probably mid to late 90s, we've been doing just about all yachting battens and very, very few windsurfing battens.
Okay. Scott, what do you do at the company here?
Like I mentioned, I help out with sales, marketing, order entry, as well as purchasing, and also help out a lot with sailmakers, just visiting them at different regattas that I race in, and just kind of work out with kind of developing new products, and it's been a lot of fun, that's for sure.
Sells ropes as well. So.
Yeah. And we also recently took on Alpha Ropes, which is based out of Portugal, and we've been selling their line for about a year now.
Cool. And you guys moved to the Gorge in 1993.
Yeah, we moved to the Gorge in 93, and we've been in this location for about 4 years now.
And your location is right here at the event center in Hood River. You can't miss it.
Can't miss it. Right on the water.
And if you want to bring your camper and just park right in the driveway here, just call Scott and he'll set you up and bring you out cocktails in the morning and something like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Make a mean Bloody Mary here, that's for sure.
All right. What's your relationship with the Double Dam?
We sponsor the dinner every Friday night, the pre-race dinner. And we've been doing that for, I think, 4 years now, 3 or 4 years.
Okay.
And this year's a special one. We're doing a pig on a stick. So.
Pig on, oh, you got the hog already cooking then, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very good. And tell me the different clients that you have here at RBS.
Well, it's mainly sailmakers all around the world, all the way from the big boys like North, Quantum, and Ullman, all the way down to our local windsurfing loft on the other side of the building, Northwave Windsurfing Sales. We also service a lot of smaller sailmakers such as Ballard Sails, Glazer Sails, and a lot of smaller guys as well. And we can work and custom taper our battens to really fit their sails and their needs right down to the T. Yeah, absolutely. We deal with the retail market as well. That's something I was helping out with RBS for quite a while, and it becomes a little bit difficult because sailmakers know exactly what they want, whereas the retail customer doesn't always know what they want. So it's certainly been a really big challenge for us working with the end consumer, but you can always give us a call and we can work with you guys to get you what you need. Absolutely. All we'll need to know is what kind of boat it's for, what kind of, the length of the battens, of course, is always helpful, and what kind of sailing you're doing. If you're going to be doing offshore sailing versus lake sailing, there's going to be much different battens, and you're going to need different battens. Also cruising versus racing, we offer E-glass as well as carbon battens, and some of the racers really like the carbon battens to save on weight and also increase stiffness, so we can certainly dial it in.
Very good.
Yes, we've been doing the Volvo battens for probably 16 years now, and because it turned into one design this year, we were chosen. There's 2 batten manufacturers in the world that were chosen, and we were one of them to make battens for them. So that's quite an accomplishment for us. To me, that race really puts your product in some really great situations where they could break and they don't break. So we were the only. Our battens didn't last. The winner of the last Volvo race didn't break any of our battens after 25,000 miles, so we were quite pleased with that. And so I guess that's why we were chosen.
All right.
All the raw material comes in different lengths and different stiffnesses for different boats. So anywhere from an opti batten all the way up to a super yacht. We've got the ability to do the full range, depending on either E-glass or carbon. So all the gray stuff you see is E-glass. All the black is carbon. But really the key to our product is you can take this and bend it in a circle without breaking.
And this is manufactured for you and your specs where?
Where? In Colorado. Yeah. It's a friend of ours. They're from the archery industry. They all from the compound bows and the archery industry. That, and they do the same thing. They do leaf springs for Corvettes and trucks and stuff, and chairs and stuff. So it's a great product.
Yeah, and is there something to do with elevation that makes the stuff dry or cure faster or better?
No.
No, doesn't matter where you make it.
No, that would be humidity or dryness would be. But no, it's really the matrix, the resin matrix, and the glass content. That's the key to making a really good product.
Okay. And how long a pieces can you ship typically?
We get them in 6-meter lengths. The carbon comes longer. The bigger, thicker stuff comes in 30 feet, so about 9 meters. So, and we have shipped 9-meter battens all around the world. It gets very, very expensive. And we've got a little splice that we've designed, and I'll show you that further in the.
Okay. What are we gonna do now?
Yeah. And so the way it starts is that the employees get a sheet that'll tell them all the codes, whether it's e-glass or carbon, where to cut it, how much, what it's for, what boat it's for, and what to cut it to, and that's what we do here. So that's the first thing we do. And that's what he's doing there. He's working off of a work order, and it's telling him to cut whatever it's telling him to cut. And that's what he's doing.
So he's cutting length now.
So being a 10mm stock, I'm sure that's for a one design sale.
And these are straight stock, not tapered at this point in time?
Not tapered at this point, no.
Okay.
From that point, it goes here. Our CNC machine puts the taper into the batten. So whether it's a straight taper or a reverse taper, we just plug in the batten thickness, the length of the taper, and the tip thickness, and that'll give us our profile and our draft location, which is key to everything. It's all about draft location and stiffness, basically.
Yeah, and this isn't any software you just pick up on the internet someplace. You guys actually had
It's all custom. The machine's totally custom made. We have a 6-inch diameter cutter, and we have water running over it, so it's really keep the dust level down. And we actually have 2 machines. That's the original one. That needs to be rebuilt. So we took this one, improved it, and after we start slowing down, we'll tear that one down and rebuild it to look like this. So,
Okay.
So this is our carbon press. We take carbon stock and laminate more carbon on top of it in order to get the stiffness that we need with the customer's request. They generally give us an EI number, which is a stiffness number, and we take that number and we know, because of the thickness of the batten and the width of the batten, we know how thick to make it in order to get the stiffness that they need. So we do that in our flat press. So if we need to add more carbon to it, it's easily done.
Okay, how long does it have to sit in a press for it to cure?
We cure it in about 20 minutes. 20 minutes. So.
Okay. Then after you've done that,
Then it goes back to the tapering process. It gets tapered again. And then it goes to, once we taper it, we create a hard edge, so it goes to the sanding, and they break that edge down, and that's what the gentleman's doing there. Sanding it and cleaning it up and capping it. This is where we put the caps on. And again, the work order will tell you exactly what cap to put on, and again, what it's used, whether you want a soft cap or a hard cap. So it's all in the order. Then from that point on, we take it to the spray room, and we spray a waterborne urethane on it. So it's a real quick drying, and that's only preventative, so you don't have to feel the fibers or the dust or anything to get itchy. So it's just primarily just cosmetics, it's nothing else. And then from that point on, it goes to our shipping table, or actually printing table. And
When you mean printing, you don't write a story on it, you
well,
put your labels on it?
we actually do, for example, these battens here are for North, so we'll put the North logo. We'll put our code on it, which means that the E-glass, 19 millimeters long, 350 thousandths thick, that's 2.4 meters long. And it's a luff taper in the direction of how it goes into the sail. So we keep track of all that. And we also put the boat name on there and the position if we know it. If it's a one design batten, we'll put top batten, number 2, number 3, number 4. So the customer receives it and knows exactly what to do with it.
Okay.
And that's a little printing thing. Juan here can show you how that's done. About ready to print there, Juan?
Okay, go.
Another product we make is a roller batten for the rolling jibs. Just rolls up, pops back into space.
How long's that been on the market?
Probably about 3 years now. We've been improving it every year. It's a difficult batten to make, so they do break down, and you've got to be very careful with them. It's best to pull them out after every race, and they'll last a lot longer.
Yeah, and as opposed to the ones that they put vertically in the roller furling?
Yeah, most sailmakers prefer this because they can shape the sail a lot better than the verticals and then the weight of the vertical battens as well.
Yeah.
So,
You can also support positive roach with horizontal batten versus a vertical batten. You can't support, positive roach on a head sail too much.
Yeah.
What's really cool about this product is that we can actually taper ours. So just like our normal battens, it's a little bit thinner at the
a
tip.
break in it. So when the wind hits, it doesn't create a hard spot like on this side. It just forms to the shape of the sail and stiffen the leech where you need it.
Cool. Who'da thunk it?
So this is where we keep our Alpha Rope stock. This is basically, our role with Alpha Ropes is a distributor for North American dealers. Again, it's a company based out of Portugal, so getting the product here has always been a little bit of a nightmare. So what we've been doing is stocking what our dealers will be selling, and then basically when they call us up, we can just come on up here, make sure that we have the stock, and go ahead and ship them out. Full spools, half spools, or by the foot, whatever they need.
Okay, what type of lines and what type of diameters are we talking about?
Anywhere from dinghy lines, so down to like 2 mil, as well as cores, all the way up to 12 and 15 mil for large boat sheets and that sort of thing. We can also do cores, covers, and work with our riggers to get their customers set up. We're not doing any rigging here, and we're not selling to the end customer. We have very little, maybe like some local sailors and stuff, but mainly our role is, again, to support our dealer network to get to grow the Alpha brand in the United States.
Okay, and who is carrying the Alpha brand out there?
So far we have Ballard Sales in Seattle, Washington. We have Anacortes Rigging up in Anacortes. A few different Bay Area guys, KKMI. And then also we have Sail 22 based that are working with the sport boats and that sort of thing. We also have a couple East Coast, Oyster Bay, and then a few smaller companies that are just starting to deal. So.
Okay, and what's the difference between Alpha and any other brand out there? Samsung, what have you?
Well, Alpha and Samsung, I would really, Alpha is really going for the European look with the matte and with the matte finish and really, really cool colors. The biggest thing is we can customize the process. So if you want any colors, any cores, any covers, we can work with you and build you the perfect line.
All right, sounds good. Thank you.
Sure.
It's a flicker that it's a powder coated process, and before this process the only thing you could powder coat was metal, because you have to charge the part that you were powder coating, and the powder would attach itself to the metal. But these guys have found a way to charge the particle instead of the part, so you just heat the part up and you're able to powder coat fiberglass or wood or anything. And it's never been able to be done before. So they're perfect for a backstay flicker because they're out exposed to the sun all the time, and it won't break down, won't break the fibers down.
Okay, and the piece you got right there, is that going to be a backstay flicker at some point?
Absolutely would be, yep.
How many?
We do all of Selden's backstay flickers, and most of the J70s with Sail 22, they do quite a bit for us. And the Melgus, all the Melgus 24s have our backstay flickers, and so it's been quite a successful product.
Right, and the length that you have in your hand, is that the full length of a backstay flicker, or you got two in there?
Yeah, that's
That'd be
for
a 24.
Yeah, that's probably for Melgus 24.
Okay.
But we make them really long as well for bigger boats, 32s, and Selden has some really thick ones that we have no idea where they go, but they're thick, big. We make them up to about 70 inches long. Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah. We can talk about it. And,
Yeah, you can go ahead and narrate right over
what
that.
Juan's doing right now is he's setting up the first thing we did is we tapered these on a scarf joint. So it's a matched joint. So this is the same angle as the luff end. So this is the aft end, that's the luff end. And what Juan is doing is he's putting one of our thermoplastic housing that we make here for it to slide into. And this is made out of a polypropylene with a lot of bias wraps, so it's very, very stiff, but not so stiff that it changes the flex of the batten. So, but it's very, very strong as well. With a lot of hoopage, a lot of strength, your stiffness comes with your unidirectional. So we do a combination of unis and bias. That doesn't interfere with the draft location or the bend of the batten. So what Juan's doing is setting up the, Juan is applying in the luff section of the batten, Juan's applying our scarf joint, or our housing over the scarf joint to match up with the aft section. So he's carefully measuring it to make sure that it's lined up properly. So once he does that, he takes it off just in case there's any slippage at all, moving the batten in and out of the luff and the batten pocket. So once it's secured, so let me flip this around. We made this special for Matt. Is it Matt Noble? So he knows how to place this into the sail properly, because a lot of people, unless they read this, and they got to match the arrows basically. So Matt, when you put it together, make sure that the arrows are matched up. Otherwise, it's not going to work.
All right.
So what it is, at this point, we got the luff end, we got the leech end. And what you do is just, if it's difficult to come off, we just bounce it, and it slides right off.
Okay.
So now you've got a batten that you can ship DHL or UPS anywhere around the world, and it's limitless. We could make, because a lot of times we put 3 splices in the sail, like on a 9 or 10 meter batten, we'll have 2 or 3 splices in that batten, and it works just fine. After I plug it back in, I'll show you how it bends, and it really doesn't change the flex characteristics.
Let me get a view down the...
Yeah, if you look down the back, you may want to turn that radio down a little bit. This isn't the taper section, but you can see the splice does not interfere with the curve of the sail.
And is this for this batten you just spliced there? Is it actually going to a Volvo
No,
boat? This is
no,
just
the Volvos don't splice their battens, and because most of them, I think the longest batten's a little over 3 meters long, and so for the jibs, so we don't, not necessary to splice it. We can ship that anywhere around the world, up to about 4 meters, and then it gets really expensive to ship. So it would be, you know, it's saving on shipping. That's the key, and storage as well. If you're cruising around the world, you can store extra battens down below. We had a guy in Fiji, a friend of mine, actually needed a bottom batten for one of his 47-foot eyeless, I think it was, or maybe a 49-foot. And he was in this obscure place in the world, in Fiji, this small island. And he's going, how are we going to get the batten there? It was like 6 meters long. I said, we can splice it and send it DHL. So he sends us a picture. That's the picture there, I'll show you. When he received it. This is the picture when he received the batten in Fiji somewhere. So we can ship anywhere in the world.
All right.
So the cruisers say, battens aren't that important. Well, they are when they break. And so it's real important to have good battens. But we keep this just to remind us that we can ship anywhere in the world.
All right.